No! I thought I had it. I muted the audio. Welcome to the stream. Already starting off with a clean, no audio start. So, glad you're here. I have a pretty fun stream excited, or, planned out. I think this is going to be a fun one. And I hope you guys are excited as well. And I want to chat with you, first of all, and just see what's going on in your world of mead making. And then, of course, I have some other things planned. We've got our Herculometer giveaway, this bad boy right here. The stream should hopefully even out soon. I don't really know. It was choppy there for a second. But we're going to give away the Herculometer today, and that should be pretty fun. Yeah, it's going to be a chill time. I don't always get to do these. This is just well, I'd like to do them more, and I plan to do them more. However, it's very situational. So anyways, how are you guys doing? What's going on in your brewing world? I would love to hear about the things you're making, things you're failing at. I'm looking at something right now I'm going to talk about in a little bit, my own mead failure / lesson I learned recently regarding some carboys. And yeah, so it is adventurous. So what's going on with you guys? I'd love to hear. And while you guys are putting that in the chat, I'm drinking two things. My kind of thing that I like to do on these streams is I like to have a sipper, and I like to have a, I don't know, heavier drink of some sort. So this right here in my right hand is a banana hydromel, one of 4 hydromels that I have finished that will be out on the channel in a while. I don't really know when exactly, but this is a banana hydromel using real bananas. It's like 7% ABV, 6.7 percent ABV, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, that's that. And then my other one in my other world, the heavier one, is this. Looks super brown and dark, which is nice. I always suck at cleaning glasses. Looks terrible. This is from Superstition. This is the Amante. This will be out next Friday. The review, it's on the Man-Made Mead Extras channel. So if you want to see all of my mead reviews, I post them all there. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. 2 drinks per usual. And yeah, okay, let's get to some comments. I've missed a lot already. Notifications work. Awesome. Mark. Hello, Mark and Philip and Noah. I'm just going to say hi to all these people. Alonzo, Val Jones, Brandon, TK, Noah, Snoopy, Nancy, Dunning, the great Dunning-Kruger. That's a cool name. And Noah, I already said your name. So, welcome, you guys. Super glad you're here. And Javier, I recognize that name as well. I had something I was going to do. Let me know if the audio is, not this audio, the microphone audio, but the music audio is okay. If it's too loud, I can turn it down, do all those things. I can't actually monitor it from my end, so I'm having to do it in a different way. It's a little bit wild. We got some other people. We got Chris. Did I say Chris already? Chris, David, Scott, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Glad you're here, man. Blazer, Carlos. Ooh, sweet. I am excited for this stream. This is probably, I need to find some wood somewhere to knock. This is the most prepared stream I've had with behind the scenes things. So I've got a lot of stuff, hopefully fun stuff planned that will work out. But knowing my streams, if you're a regular viewer, they get to be a little wild. David says, I'm drinking rum and Coke with lime, a bit more fancy than last time. Last time you definitely, I think, what was it? I can't remember now. It was, someone had said a really nice mead before you. That was the fun one. Manuel says, my vanilla mead is in secondary. Had a taste recently. Quite happy. That's awesome, man. Welcome, Josh and Dal. Marshall. Ooh. Nancy says, I can't hear the music. Let me make sure it's working. Theoretically, it's working. It's pretty light. It's not going to be super loud. I'm going to keep it a little bit chill. I'm gonna run out of this banana hydromel. One thing you can notice, you can't notice super well, but there's a lot of floaties in here. What I've learned with bananas, I've done banana fermentations before, but in this case, I didn't put them in a bag. I just kind of said Hail Married them into it and just let them go, and they also didn't filter it, so they are super interesting. Stream still okay? There we are. Root beer and vodka. David, that's definitely a step up. Darren says, I'm super new to the brewing world. Can you tell me more about what a Herculometer is? A Herculometer, it's the thing we're giving away today. About 3 weeks ago, I did a video on it. This is a plastic hydrometer. It's the same thing as your regular hydrometer. The only difference is it's plastic, so if I were to take it and start slamming it places, it's going to survive more than a glass one would. They function the same way. The only difference is it's plastic. It's just a nice product to have. At some point, whether you've done it or not, you're going to break a hydrometer, and that's just the sad truth of it all. Welcome, Oren and Bruno. What's up? Carlos says, drinking a Tupelo mixed berry mead. Ooh, Tupelo and mixed berry. That sounds pretty good. I could go with that. Oren says, I have a mango tree and wondering how much fruit I should use in a 5-gallon batch. The general consensus, and everybody in the comments can give your consensus as well. Most of the time you put 3 to 4 pounds at least of fruit per gallon of mead. Some people go crazy and go 3 to 6. I think, depending on the fruit, 3 does just fine. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments. Again, I'm not going to ever claim to be the pro, to know everything, so please don't take my opinions as fact. You should go try things on your own. That is my recommendation. Anybody who's screaming from the rooftops saying their opinions, the only one is stay away from those people. Oh yeah, for sure gonna run out of this. We got 49 people in. Welcome, you guys. This is so cool. If you are just joining, this is just a chill talk about mead making community time. So I love getting to do this because it's fun for me to talk to you for one, but also to let you guys talk to one another and learn from one another as well. TK says he's drinking a chocolate chip ice cream stout. Woo! That's a flavor right there. Seth, yeah, 15 pounds for 5 gallons is a lot. I mean, it is a lot, but you want the fruit flavor. If you're going for a mango mead, if you're going for an apple mead, you want it to taste like apples. Or you want it to taste like mangoes. And there's no way around it. We kind of struggle. I mean, unless you want to use juice, in which case you can kind of get by. Michelle, welcome. And Cole, just trying to see if I've missed anybody. Mark, I don't know if I said hey to you earlier, Mark. Got Jacob, I'm new to brewing. How long after pitching the yeast until I see activity in the airlock? Some people see it as early as 8 hours. Some people see it as late as 36 to 48. So just depends on your yeast and how quickly they wake up. Don't be afraid. If your fermentation does not start in 24 hours, don't start slamming on Reddit or Facebook groups and going, what did I do wrong? Just give it time. That's the big thing with mead. Give it time. Just let it chill. It'll be fine. I promise you that something will happen. Good or bad, something will happen. You'll either do nothing after 48, 72 hours, or it will do something. Michelle says, I just started a lemon balm mead. Ooh, and 5 gallons of strawberry wine. There we go. I know BC's working on doing your strawberry wine recipe. I think that's what it was. Javier, yeah. Using concentrates is actually really good. I would recommend, if you have the availability to do so, use a concentrate. I was Instagram messaging somebody 2 days ago. They asked me about my Mead Mosa, and I used the orange juice concentrate that's like the Great Value Walmart brand. And he said, I think he lives down in Mexico. He said he lived just close enough to the the U.S. border to be able to get into Mexico or get into wherever and get to Walmart to buy that stuff. So use what you have, but concentrates are really nice. I also had another guy from Australia, which is, it's really cool, by the way. Anytime you guys message me and you're like, hey, I'm from New Zealand, that's just wild to me. I enjoy it quite a bit. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but he messaged me and he was making the apple pie bochet, and he said something about how he was looking to use graham crackers, but he had to find a substitute because the graham crackers in Australia, the specific brand I was using, or really I guess the only brand, because he said he couldn't really get any, were $45 for a pack, like a normal human-sized pack. And so that's pretty crazy. When you run into things like that, where you have to find a substitute for graham crackers, I do fall into a little bit of a pickle in telling you what to do. But use what you can, or what you have. Val says, have 2 meads going and 6 wines. Ron says, drinking the last of my winter ale. Ooh, keg literally just went dry. Gotta make some more, it sounds like. Gotta make some more. If I miss somebody's comment or question, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I am trying to... I talk a lot. If you watch my videos, I have a lot to say, and it's not always a great thing. So, I do want to highlight a couple things. First of all, I have a few people who support me regularly. If you want to support me and help the channel continue to grow and allow me to buy nicer equipment to do nicer streams and buy honey and all that stuff, you can join me on the YouTube membership. I want to highlight these people first. Thank you to these people, YouTube members right here. These people support me on YouTube for $1.99 a month. They help me out, but they also get to see my videos a week early. So if you want to see this coming week's video, which I'm going to hype up and tell you about in a second, go ahead and hit that. $1.99, you can see all my videos a week early, including the Man-Made Mead Extras one where I post my mead reviews. And you can sleep well at night knowing that you are supporting a poor YouTuber as he attempts to buy expensive honey. So that's one thing you can do. And then the other side of the fence, if you want to support me in the same way, $1.99, you can join me on Patreon. The Patreon is another place to do it, but you can, if you're able to and want to, I will never ask you to support more than you're willing to. But if you want to support more, you can jump over to the Patreon. There's a $2 tier. There's also a $5 tier and a $10 and a $20. And those people are all incredible. And I'm so thankful for them. So thankful for the YouTube members. So if you want to support me, check out these 2 things. I think there's a link in the description for both of them. There's also a join button. Enough of me talking. Thank you, patrons. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, YouTube members. So, back to business. Okay. We're here today. Hold on, I gotta make sure this is... There we go. We're here today to give away a Herculometer. We'll get to that in a few minutes. I also am going to jump on, and I have sent a message over to my patrons. Put it on Patreon. For those people who are on there, there's a special Discord channel when you join the Patreon that, or Discord title, I should say. And within Discord, you can actually join this voice chat. So in the future, and here in a little bit, I'm going to hop on the voice chat with some of those, my patrons, and we're going to chat, hopefully, and do that. If any of them are on there. If not, then, oh well, that's fine. But, giving away the Herculometer here in a few minutes. Back to what I was looking at here. Darren says, do you have a video that expands on the secondary fermentation? I watched one of your videos that mentioned primary and secondary that opened up a world of questions. I don't have one that's specifically about primary versus secondary fermentation. However, I probably shouldn't make one. There is a big difference. I do kind of go into it in my mead making 101, 201, 301 series, but it's not specifically about secondary. That's a great video idea for the future. Excited to do that. I don't know if that's questions for me, but Nathan asked, how long have you been mead making? This is 3.5 years now of, I would say, seriously mead making. I just logged recipe 150 on my brew logs, and that's pretty crazy. Not all of them have been meads. I have about 4 or 5 beers, and then I also have about like 2 wines. So close to about 140 meads in the 3.5 years. Welcome, Scott Chase, to the Man-Made Mead Makers. I can't even say my own name with things. That's exciting. Thank you for supporting me. I hope you enjoy the early access to the content and those things as well. Noah says, anyone in Northeast Oklahoma looking for 6-gallon glass carboys? Man, I mean, that's... First of all, good luck traveling right now. It's a little bit crazy to try and move around. This, for anybody not in the U.S. or in this central snow zone, we're about to hit, or get hit with a really bad snowstorm specifically. We're supposed to get like 2 feet of snow in the next 24, 36 hours, something like that. So it's going to be a little bit crazy. We're all hunkering down. Everybody's going to Walmart and buying out literally everything. I went 2 days ago, and there wasn't even like an apple in the whole place. It's pretty crazy. People get real scared when it comes to snow and ice. Baleful Welcome says, can I bottle immediately after degassing? Yes, if you are certain that it's done fermenting. If it's just degassing stages, then yeah, you're good. But make sure it's done fermenting. Chris says, Omega Lutra? I haven't used that yeast, but BC loves it. I only have Fermax and Fermade. Oh, how much should I use per gallon? Should I stagger it? Honestly don't know, Chris. I haven't used the Lutra. I would say that it's probably a nutrient needing yeast. I don't know how nutrient needing it is though. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I wish I had a better answer for you. Maybe message BC. I don't know. Hate to put it on him, but I don't know the answer. David, yeah, 50 meads a year. Gets a little crazy. The thing is, some of those, and I'm not trying to boast. Please don't assume I'm trying to boast. I'm just, some of my little, that's 150 mead/experiments. So like our raisins nutrients mead experiment is all underneath one recipe list. So that was 9 gallons of mead with the 3 different yeasts and all that for the one mead recipe. So that was nuts. That was insane. Philip says we have bad ice here in Austin. Hopefully you're stocked up. Ron says, sounds like you have made beer and wine in addition to mini meads. What drove you to making meads mainly? Honestly, just the desire to make them in general. I started the YouTube channel, and then I found myself really enjoying making mead. And then I fell into the experiment trap of it all. It's a whole lot of fun. So I definitely, I want to make more beer, but I also am too busy with mead. Missed a few things. -50 for a week and a half. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you're in the bad places. I do not want to be where you're at. Hold on, I gotta send a link out real fast. Sorry. How do I do this? I'm also trying to check. I know you guys said the audio's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Let's see, what else we got? Here in New Mexico, the weather's wet, no snow. That's kind of nice. Heavy brewing, prep for the snow. Oh man, I've had, yesterday I had Friday off of work, and then I had, of course, today off. I have tomorrow off, and I have Monday off. So I've been doing a lot of projects. I spent a bulk of my day just doing project things. It was honestly pretty fun. I definitely enjoyed that. Still trying to get this link. Share. There it is. Copy. Mead making time when you're locked in, for sure. I honestly love. I like the snow when I'm prepared. Whenever I don't know if you guys know about this. I think I talked about it some, but I had a really bad ice storm here a little while ago, and it knocked out my power for almost 2 weeks. So I lost my house got down to like 30 degrees, not 30, it's like probably 40 degrees for a bulk of that time. So a lot of my fermentation slowed down, and I had to deal with that crap. So it wasn't fun. But it was a very big inconvenience because I was stubborn and I stayed here and we didn't have power, and so we walked around with candles and lived like the old days, and it was interesting to say the least. I definitely cannot imagine living in a place where it is super cold all the time. So shout out to you if you live in a very cold environment all the time. So in about 8 or 9 minutes, I'm going to do the giveaway. And I'll tell you this, I put when I say a lot of prep work into this, there's this, you'll see in just a few minutes, there's this giant list of just comments that I have screenshotted and I put into this giant Photoshop file, and oh my god, it looks absolutely insane. I'll have to show you in a few minutes. It just is a little bit crazy. So I have 194 comments, and yeah, I'm just basically gonna roll a dice. Anyways, moving on from that. Is this loading? What happened to my chat here? Okay, I don't know why, but my chat got stuck, I think. I've missed a lot of things. Sorry. What do you think about using graham crackers in secondary? Do it. If you're trying to get bready flavor, you're trying to get the not hot spice, but like nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, those things. Graham crackers are great for that and for providing that bready flavor. In my apple pie bochet recipe, I suggest to use 4 to 5 graham crackers per gallon, and I stand by that. I definitely stand by that for sure. Does anybody have any experience with organic apple juice from Santa Cruz? I don't. I'm sorry. Hopefully somebody else has some experience. Mark says you need to throw a party to help clear up some space for brewing. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I already give away a lot of bottles on a pretty regular basis, and I just have friends, and they know that I make mead, and so they end up getting a lot of free bottles of things. And yeah, I've been making a lot of smaller recipes of stuff, so when I am bottling things, I only have 12 bottles. Because if I make too big of batches, then I'm stuck with... Like, if I did a 5-gallon batch for everything I did, like, I don't know how BC does it, Doing the Most does it. He does 5 gallons almost every batch, and I have no idea what to do with it. He doesn't bottle all of his things. He does a lot of kegging, and he gives away a lot of stuff too. But he does some bottling. I don't want to say he doesn't do any bottling, but yeah, he definitely he does big batches, and it's pretty impressive. I don't know that my chat is updating. I'm just gonna watch it from here. Hello, Texas Longhouse Mead. Welcome, Michelle. It's 79 there. Man, I am envious. I wish it was 79 here. Jeez. Welcome, 63 people. I think this is the most people we've ever had on a stream. Super glad you guys are here. We're just chatting about mead making. I'm going to give away the Herculometer here in about 5 minutes, and then we're going to have some other things planned. I still have to tell you about my amazing epic fail that I have experienced recently. Scott says, it seems that you should get a generator. My mom has one at Elk City. Definitely should. Probably get a generator eventually. You've come a long way from shooting videos in your mead room. Well, this is still the mead room. It's just I got a fanciness back behind me. So if you saw my setup, it's still the mead room. I got the shelves above me. I've got the stuff behind. You just can't see all the insanity. Bacon and hot sauce mead. Ooh, I would not do that. What's the cheapest setup you have worked? Wait, what's the cheapest setup you have worked with for making alcohol? I'm guessing you mean mead. You can get away. Like, the cheapest mead you could make would be using less honey is a sizer. So get some apple juice and of course get some honey. You can go and buy some. I saw some people posting about the Kirkland, which is the Costco brand honey, that they were having some sale for $9.50 or something like that for a 5-pound thing of honey, which is a super good deal. If you're trying to get cheap honey, that's great. So you could get out with like apple juice being half your sugar content and honey being the other half, and make yourself a decent mead. Ingredients alone, that'll cost you, if let's say you made a hydromel, you could even make 5 gallons of mead for that same, for $15, let's say. Super cheap. But that's what I would do if you're trying to go the cheapest route. You can also just do the thing. I have the wine, cheap wine/wine, cheap wine/cider. I couldn't figure out what I was trying to say there. To just easy realm, and that was like buying a bottle of cran apple, pineapple, whatever, and then pouring yeast in it. That's also real cheap. So those are a few ideas. Ooh, I forgot how good this thing is. This is so buttery. This is the Amante from Superstition. I did a review of it on the Man-Made Mead Extras channel. And that's where I post all the mead reviews. It is very buttery. It's got this, it's aged in coconut barrels, so it's got the coconutty flavor, of course. And then it's got the tannin from the barrel. I would love just a gallon of this. And that's what I really want. Just a whole gallon of it. Eric, hello from Massachusetts. Hello from Oklahoma. You are way far away and probably in the cold as well. David says, my horrifying Kool-Aid hooch is almost done. I'm sure it looks cool. Maybe. Nathan says, what do you do for work? I'm a teacher. That's my main gig. So someone's talking about the flip top. Belluck Lynch says, do you have any experience using cider yeast for mead? I got a good deal on 100 grams of it. Holy cow. That's a lot of yeast. Used a little bit of it. I would not. I mean, it's not bad. You can use a beer yeast in mead. You can use wine yeast in mead. I would say just give it a shot. There's no harm in attempting to use that. So go for it. I would not be afraid to try it. Is it bad to use distilled water for mead? No, it's actually, well, it's got, it lacks nutrients, minerals, excuse me, because they do pull out some of the minerals when they do that. So it is a little bit tough, but I would not use like store-bought distilled water. If you have a distilled water maker or water distiller that still puts the minerals in it, that could be fine. But the truth is, like, distilled water is pretty sole purposeful. Susan's a teacher. It's their most red hot booze. Hey, this is like the peppermint mead. The peppermint mead is like that not dark red, lightish red. It's pretty interesting itself. Use spring water, definitely. Ooh, Japan. We got somebody from Japan. Whew. I think you're the furthest away from me. I'd love to hear where everybody is from, because I think that's exciting as well. Welcome, John. Says, what up? Just made my first sizer like 10 minutes ago. Love it. I'd love to hear that turns out. Brandon says, lo-fi beats have helped me focus while investigating cases. Ooh. I'm actively helping to stop crime. Yes, that is my ultimate goal. Make mead, stop crime. That's all I need in life. RJ says, what's your opinion on using sanitized milk jugs as fermenters? For the primary, that would be okay, but I would not age any amount of time in a plastic fermenter. I think you could get away with that. It's just To be honest, it's more frowned upon. It's not like it's like a wrist slap thing. It's not like people are gonna kill you if you do it. That's just not the best. I would not recommend doing it. I would get a glass carboy. It costs you $9. You can even go buy wine from your grocery store, get the gallon. That's like, $9 for the whole gallon of wine, and then drink that, and then you got yourself a jug. So maybe it doesn't hurt. Oh man, we got some big questions. Scott says, what kind of music do you listen to, or who are the greatest influences? I kind of gone all over the place. I'm very much so an instrumentalist guy, and so I listened to, when I was growing up, I grew up with Motown music, and so I was all about that. And then I kind of, early 2000s, listening to some of that more rock, kind of almost punk, and now I'm more jazz. I'm like very jazz, very lo-fi. Lo-fi is my big thing now, so I've kind of gone everywhere. Man, we got people all over the place. Japan, New Mexico, Switzerland, ooh, Aztec, New Mexico, Colorado, Wisconsin, Texas, Ohio, I don't know how you say that. Michelle, O-A-H-U, Oahu? That's terrible. And South Africa, more, Oklahoma, welcome. Yeah, it's close to home, I saw someone had a question in here. Let me get back to it. How important is it to use good honey, like Walmart honey versus local honey? That's a great question. It is very, very important if you're using, it's very important in general. I'll just kind of blanket statement that. Your honey is the base of all your flavor. And you got to think about, it's like the material. If I gave you a blanket, more than likely you want, or I'll put it this way, when you go to a hotel or a motel or something, and you get the towel, you want the towel that's kind of fluffy. You want the nice quality, base quality towel. You don't want the one that's going to scratch you up. And so in a lot of ways, the fluffy towel is your higher quality honey. It's just more enjoyable. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Whereas the crappy honey can lead to a not as fun base. You can get away with using crappy honey if you're making a mellow mel or some other thing that has a lot of flavors where the honey is not the most prominent thing. If you're making a traditional, get some high quality honey. Don't go spend $4 on a 5 pounds of honey and then think you're going to make a great traditional. I just don't think it happens. If it does, I know people do. I just recommend high quality honey. Susan asks, feel lucky to have Superstition near me, drinking some now. What other places do you recommend buying from? Moonlight is great. Redstone is also great. Where else have I tried? Now I'm blanking on these. Groenfell is really good. If TK is still in here, he can preach it. He's got all the people. I'm blanking on it. This is terrible. It's bad on me. Scott says jazz is a little too chaotic for me to listen to, but thanks. Well, that's fair. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody at all. Carlos, I like the rough towels. Oh, man. Kevin says, what about when making Viking blood? You got like cherry as your base. The Viking blood recipe is a staple one in the community. It's been a staple in the community for, I think, like 6 or 7 years, if not longer. It started back, there's a guy back in I was looking up the origins recently, and it started back in 2014, 2015, and that was when people started really making it, and that's kind of how it became, what it is now, which is a cherry mead. People started converting it into that. So it was, yeah. But you still want nice honey. I don't know why you wouldn't. Bee nectar, yes, that's another one. Viking alchemist, ooh. Lost Cause, those are all. I haven't had Lost Cause before. All right, y'all. I am going to get over to the giveaway. We're going to give away the Herculometer. So, let me switch to this. Boom. Okay, give me one moment. I got to switch something over. Need that. The chat's going to be gone for a moment, so just bear with me. So here's what I've done. This is crazy. So this is the chat's gone. Sorry, y'all. The comment section, I'm pulling from the comment section the winner of this. Of course, the requirements were that you subscribe to myself, you subscribe to Doing the Most, because this is a collaborative giveaway. He's giving away multiple of these, by the way. I'm just giving away one right now. You can go check out his channel for more. And that you just leave a comment. So I had 194 comments on that video. Now I would say that that's quite a few people. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this fixed. Now the way I'm doing this, 194 comments, and boom, ready for this? This is just, oh, well, there you go. This is how big the list is. So I'm just gonna scroll down it a little bit because it's a little bit crazy. We're gonna zoom in. Okay, so you see down here, this is all 100 of them. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Whew. The way I'm gonna pick, because I didn't just want to pick one, I wanted to make sure it's fair. I have a... My dog is freaking out. I have a dice roller. So the dice roller is right... Try to get back to it. Here! There it is. Okay, so it is 194 sides on this dice, which... That's a fair amount of sides for a dice. I'd love to see that one. And just one dice. So I thought about doing like 3 or 4 dice to where it would have multiple, but then I got to do some other system. So let's find out. This person might or not be might not be in the chat. We'll find out. I'll try and reach out to them. So here's who, get back to here, wins the hydrometer. We're going to roll the dice. And... can you guys see that? Okay, it's loading. It's just goes slow. And stop. Number 81. And number 81 is... Oh, oops. I need to go down. There we go. 81. Gotta get real close. It is... Oh, Bush... Oh, I gotta zoom in. I can't see that very well. Bush People. Bush LPPL. If you... Is it? Hold on, y'all. Yes, that is. Sorry, my number's a little close to it. So it is, this guy right here is Bush LPPL. If you are him, please reach out to me. Or I will reach out to you. If so, you have won the hydrometer. Again, if you want to win one of these... the Herculometer. If you want to win another Herculometer, go check out Doing the Most channel. He actually has 2 more giveaways for them. So, congratulations, Bush LPPL. I think that's what it says. It's real small. Switching back. Boom. Oh, wow. That's chaotic. There we go. Hold on. Struggle. There we go. Here we are again. That was fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I like giving away stuff. My last giveaway I did was how long ago was it? I gave away 3 Mead kits. That's what I did. I gave away a glass carboy, an airlock and bung, and 3 pounds of honey. I did that probably 6 months ago to a year ago, and I want to do that again at some point soon. I know they make actual mead making kits, so I might be doing that. Look at all these. Congratulations to those people. I kind of wish he was in here, but, you know, that's all right. That's totally okay. All right, so now I want to get into my mead fail, because I just got to get it off my chest. This is such a silly thing. Well, look at this. We got 70 people here. This is awesome. So here is, we were talking about, or somebody asked earlier about using a plastic jug for fermenting in, which is fine. You can absolutely ferment in whatever your heart desires, whatever you have. The last thing I want to do is shame anybody for using what they have around them. I think the brand of the wine is like is it Carlo Rossi? It's this like gallon glass carboy that's a little bit bigger than a gallon. It's just like 1.1 gallons. So this thing, I had wine in it one time, and I drank it all, or I might have poured it. I can't remember. It was probably not very good wine, but drank it all, emptied it, used it for fermenting. Most recently, I used it for a project, and I had the bright idea of taking and putting this that's still in there, this oak spiral. Now, the fun fact is this oak spiral is still in there because the opening for this is too narrow for it to come out. It was, I should have known this was going to be a problem whenever I was trying to put it in and I was slamming it down to go in to the container. I should have stopped there, but I didn't. So what's happened now, I can't get this sucker out. This thing, it's like broken into pieces. That's because I won't do it now, but I've been shaking this thing violently in attempts to break it to where it'll come out of the container, because it just won't. I can get to the end of it now, but there's no getting it out. So, sorry, that was loud. So my silly fail is putting an oak spiral into a carboy with a neck too small. Don't make the same mistake as me. Please don't. If you have mead mistakes of your own, feel free to share them now. I think we could all learn from one another. It's kind of fun to talk about our failures. Yeah, David, it expanded. It definitely expanded, and I even went to the length of taking this thing and I put it in the oven. Of course, there wasn't meat in it. Put it in the oven to hope that it would dry out the wood, and it didn't dry it enough. I put it out in the cold, and it didn't dry it out, or didn't shrink it. So I'm just shaking it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just like shaking it, breaking it. One day I'll get there. I probably spent a good 10 minutes today just shaking that thing. Add termites. If you heat the wood, the moisture. Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work. Maybe that failed for me. That's not too bad. I mean, it's really not too bad. I have lots of fails. I mean, I've had spills. That's the silliest one. I have atypical ones like spilling things. I bottled something today and wasn't paying attention and spilled about half of a bottle. So, yeah. Use a power drill. Ooh, that's a good idea. I might have to try that. I don't want to break the drill side though. I worry a little bit about breaking it. That's a good idea though. Or add acid to the carboy. Dissolve the wood without damaging the glass. That's some Breaking Bad level stuff, man. I don't know where I'm gonna get some acid that will eat away wood. That stuff terrifies me a little bit. I mean, maybe it's somewhere. Where would I get that? Do I go to Walmart? Do I get it at Walmart? I don't know. Termites is the best idea ever. Maybe so. Maybe so. Also, I don't know where to get termites. Angle grinder and super glue. Man, you guys are crafty. I like this. I definitely Better Call Saul. That's also a good show. I definitely make a lot of mead mistakes, and again, that's a silly one. But I do want to remind you all that it's important that we are open about making mistakes and learn from them. I think the most important thing, and the one thing I want to highlight for us as a mead community, is that no one is ever going to make mead in a perfect fashion and never make a mistake. So be open to share those things so someone else can learn from you, and let's laugh together. I mean, obviously there are some embarrassing things that happen, but there's also stuff that happens that it's just fair for us to all laugh at together. So that was my thing. Hardware stores stock acid, muriatic acid. Golly, I don't know how. Never bought that. I'm about out of mead, y'all. Well, I'm about out of a sipping mead. I still have this part of this banana hydromel, but I don't want to down my nice one. Not that this isn't a nice one. So I have a question for you guys. What are some things you guys want to see on the channel? I would love to hear about the possible recipes you've been wanting to see on the channel, / experiments. Obviously, you know, if you watch the channel, I do a lot of experimentation. So the Mead Mythbuster series is by far one of the most fun things I do, in my opinion, because I get to just make stuff and go crazy. Let's see where I'm lost in chat. Mrs. Mead is in the chat. That person, I think I might know that person. I'm glad you can laugh at termites because my sister said most recent smells like a beach parking lot. Interesting. Boiled fruit compost? Compared. Oh, boiled fruit compared. Wait, what are you? Hold on. I don't know what you're saying there. Boiled fruit versus fresh fruit doesn't make a difference. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm gonna write these things down because my small brain will forget all of these ideas. So give me 1 second. And I'm not gonna be able to get back to where it was. Boiled fruit versus fresh fruit. What else we got? Cider Bochet with cranberries. Ooh, that sounds good. Omaha Lutra yeast nutrient video. You have 8 hours. I'll get right on it. Black licorice. I don't know what we're talking about now. Have you ever tried to make a mellow but back sweeten it with burnt honey? Like, using bochet honey in the back sweetening process. I've never done that specifically, but I can imagine it'd be really good. I've actually never back sweetened with bochet honey, but I've started things with bochet honey, but never back sweetened. Could be an interesting idea. Compote. Y'all, I don't even know what that word means. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I gotta look that up. When do we get to meet Mrs. Mead? One day she'll be on a podcast. She's expressed interest to come on a podcast episode, but I cannot guarantee you that she will be on video. So it will probably be a voice-only podcast. Ron says, what would be your average aging time for your meads to make? How long do you usually let them sit before you drink them? I let mine sit at least 2 to 3 months. But I'm also in the point where I make so much stuff that I can legit forget about something and then remember it 3 months later and go, oh yeah, I still have that. So I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be in that sake. If you are only making one mead at a time, shoot for 2 months. Like more of the FFWD videos. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm missing something. Scuppernong or Muscadine mead. Ooh. Interesting. Compote is when you boil the fruit and then it imparts the juices, flavors, and the color into the water itself. So you're using the water, boiled water itself. I see. I was thinking if I was going to boil the fruit, I would more than likely end up just straining it out, but it makes more sense to use the boiled water. Silly me. Capsicumel with pink peppercorn and hibiscus tea. Ooh, that sounds good. Darren says, what if you did a video about terrible flavors for mead and let us laugh at all the rank concoctions? You know, when I started the Can It Be a Mead series, I honestly thought I was going to hit more walls with it than I have. And not that I haven't, because some of them have been wild, like watermelon, cinnamon, jalapeno. It's a pretty wild combination. It turned out okay. So I'm sure that I could draft up some pretty wild flavors to put together. The fast forward. Hold on. Somebody said enjoyed the fast forward videos. Oh, you're talking about the time lapse videos. I see. Yeah, that's what you mean. Oh, that was a fun one to do. I liked doing that. It was interesting to watch the process, and I think it's a very manageable video for people to watch who know nothing about mead making. Sometimes I think I'll put it this way. When I first started mead making, there was not a huge part of me maybe I didn't have the passion for it from the get-go. I did not have the passion to watch a 40-minute mead making video. And you know what I mean? I had the attention span to say, like, okay, I got like 15 minutes, so I'd watch that. Like, Ricky, the mead maker, was really inspirational for me because he could get these short videos out. Now, granted, I have some really long videos on the channel, but he could give a 4-minute video and talk about lots of things. So that's what I kind of want to do, and that's why my process is beginning to end, and I try to keep it shorter if I can. Yeah. Slush Pies said, how do you degas the sulfates from fermentation without adding oxygen? Real slow, just stir, slow. That's, yeah. You stir, not shake. Yeah. Please don't ever shake. When you're moving a mead into another container, don't ever pour it. That's like step one. Never ever pour your mead into something else. I don't care how slow you do it. That's so silly. Rack it over with a cane. And don't ever shake it. Post primary. That's just silly. Just silly. What do you fill your airlocks with? Start saying water most of the time. I will slowly convert over to vodka, any of those spirits of sort. But I am pretty good about checking my airlocks on a regular basis. So, yeah, I normally do start saying water. I fill my airlocks with whiskey I don't like. That works too. My favorite mead channel is like, thank you, Ryan. That's so kind of you. Eggnog mead? Ooh. Maybe, I'll store that up here. We'll come back to that idea in the future, and maybe we'll see what happens with it. Where is this? I'm gonna fast forward in this because I think we've heard these songs. There we go. Sorry, getting back to the chat. Eggnog, where am I at now? My Metafoam Sack Mead is coming along, 16% ABV, and climbing with my Blackberry 22%, hit 20%. Woo! You're making some rocket fuel. I am. One of my projects I'm working on right now, I've been working on it for 4.5, almost 5 months now, is this pushing a mead to 25% ABV with the YLP099 from White Labs. I'll just say that I've had some problems doing so, mostly on my end. In the learning process, when you guys see the video, you're going to see what I'm talking about, but it has been a little hectic for me to figure out. But I'm hoping y'all will learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes as me, because, boy, it's been silly. What's an oak spiral for? Clay asks. It is for adding oak flavor. Instead of like trying to age something in a barrel, then most people will actually try and age something add oak in substitute. We want that oak flavor, but not everybody has a friggin' 55-gallon barrel or the capacity to fill it up, or even a little 2-liter whiskey barrel. So something like an oak spiral that's not trapped in a carboy is a great way to do that. Texas Longhouse Mead says, watching your time-lapse video and saw you had it in the window. What is your take on exposing light? I've had a lot of people ask me this recently. I don't know that's the AB side, if it's like super catastrophic for it to be in the light. I could easily run that test, and I probably will. My problem is my mead room has no windows, so I've never really had to worry about it. What I'll probably do when it's warmer, when it's a more average temperature, right now it's like 8 degrees outside, I'll leave it in a place where it will be okay. It's going to be a little while before I can do that video. I'll do like an A/B test of some sort. It'll be fun. Do Aria Sour Cherry Mead? Yeah, that's on the list to do. Again, my list is stupid large right now. Speaking of that light video, let me write that down. Light versus no light fermentation. Carrot cake mead, good or gross? I don't know. It sounds interesting, that's for sure. I stole your mead of the month, grapefruit vanilla, added hops. Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh. Yeah, I definitely think if I redid the grapefruit mead, I would make it sweeter for one. It was really tart, and I would also probably use a juice base because that would be easiest. Yeah. Is there a legit way to get viciously hot initial alcohol flavor out of a green new mead? No. The crappy part, the worst part, I'll put it, about mead making is the patience factor. It sucks, y'all. I mean, from the start, my 6 mead mistakes you might be making video. I talked about it there, and to be honest, I don't think I understood that patience. I knew that I had to have patience, but I did not understand how much it sucked. Now that I'm years into mead making, it does suck. My only saving grace is that I make so much stuff that I can just be busy. It's like if you're painting a house, if you're painting one room and you're waiting for it to dry, it feels like an eternity. But if you go and paint the other room, it doesn't feel like as long. Same thing for mead making. What's the longest you let mead sit on lees? Fun fact, Josh, I have a video on that currently. I am doing a test to see if the difference is I have an A/B test. I've done a fermentation. I'm leaving one setting on the lees and then another one setting on no lees. I'm going to come back and hopefully see if there's a difference in a year. So look forward to that. I like the UV exposed. Yeah, me too. Wood chips. Doing the most. Doing the most is here. He wants some group shots, y'all. I think that it's time. If you got a glass, go ahead and polish it off. He gave me $2 to polish mine off. I'll gladly do that and get another one. I encourage you, implore you on this Saturday night to join us in the fray. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to get as well. There's some pretty nice banana chunks in there. Let's see. BC. Oh, yeah. Man. All right, y'all. Hopefully you've polished off your glass. Thank you, BC, for the $2. I got to think about what am I going to get now. I got to figure out what I have in my ready to drink. Ooh, I know what I have. Give me about 1 minute. I'm going to get something new. And we're back. Okay. So, I got something new. This is, well, I've already opened it. I did a mead review recently on this one, actually yesterday. This is the Smoking Sunset. It is a buckwheat and mesquite blossom traditional mead that I've made. Super interesting. I really like it quite a bit. Texas Longhouse Mead says, I don't expose to UV light, but brew room has LED lights. Haven't had issues. I haven't really had issues in here either, so I find it interesting. Deciding what I should do with my channel, but if I decide to brew, would love to collaborate. That sounds fun. Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah, BC and I have a fun video coming out. This next week, we have, I might be able to even pull it up. I wonder if I have it here. Give me 1 second. I bet I can pull up. I think it's there. So we're doing this new series. I'll just spoil what the series is called. It's called Palate Expanders. And it is a series where him and I both bring meads to one another, and we taste test them without knowing what each other have brought, and it's quite fun. Honestly, we've shot 2 episodes now, and I am very much so looking forward to the future ones. I do want to show you. I'm going to throw it into here real fast. Give me one moment. Let's see if I... Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I'm going to pause this. 19, 20, 21, 22. Is this still working? Did I break it? Okay, here it is. Pause that. I'm only showing you this because I think it's fun. And it's not playing. No. That's not it. That was not what I want. Oh! I grabbed the wrong thing. Where was that? Oh, shoot. Y'all, this is why I don't try to do anything on the fly with this, because it just turns into something else. So that was the intro. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. But that's the thing that it's just kind of a cool thing. It's exciting. That'll be out Thursday. If you would like to see that video before the rest of the world, feel free to join the YouTube people down below. If you want to support me on YouTube, you can join us. Oh, there it is. You can join us. These are all the people who support me through YouTube. It's $1.99. You see all my videos a week early, and you help support the channel. So thank you to all these people. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the best. And then you can also support me on Patreon if you want to help me out even more. Oops. Sorry, y'all. This is trying to do too many things. There we go. If you want to support me on Patreon, these are these people as well. Shout out to these people. They also help run the channel, keep me going, and I am super thankful for them and their contribution to the mead making makers of America. That's a fun thing to say. Mead making makers of America. Fun acronym. Let's get back to the chat. Enough of me chatting about things. See ya, whoever's peacing out. Oh, Discord. Yeah. The Discord link, if you want to join, super fun. Also, community to be a part of is on Discord. It is if you don't know what Discord is, it is basically just in a way, a forum, a chat room for people to chat about things. And we have one for making mead, as does BC, and as does many other people. So there's that. Discord.io/manmademead. Check it out. I still would like to hop on the Discord with some friends and chat with some people. Maybe if I can get to that. We'll see. I bet I can even maybe coax BC into joining the Discord channel and chatting with us. We'll see. He's probably busy though. I will not suscept him to my shenanigans. We'll see. All right, so let me flip my audio around because I gotta be able to hear. Actually, no, I can do this, right? I don't really know. That. If you would like to join the Discord, of course, there's that link right there. Join us. Oh, we got new people. Look at that. Sweet. How exciting. Sorry. These headphones are something else. Okay. A link no worky. What? What happened here? Why? I think it's because I tagged myself in it. Oh, that is okay. Maybe I can throw it down in the. Oh shoot! Give me one moment. I gotta change. It'll be down in the description. There we go. Oh, it is down in the description. Go check it out. Down in the description, you can join the Discord. Let me know if it's down, if it's working. Oh, I put 2 eyes. What a goof. Y'all, see, this is why we don't do anything on the fly. That's why we can't have nice things. I'll put these backwards again. Don't bother a man when he's drinking. Oh, BC has his own very nice Twitch show that he does. And I want to highlight that. If you would like to support him, and also possibly win a Herculometer because he's giving away more of those than me, go join his stuff. But feel free to do that. I'm going to hop in the Discord. We're going to keep chatting, though. This is not the end of the stream. This is a free night for me. Again, I don't get to do these very often, so I'm here to party. I've got like a half a wine bottle here, so this could get dangerous real fast. I'm just going to refill back up. Look at that. This is the buckwheat mesquite blossom. Super good. Very nice. Hopping in to my patron chat. Now, I normally do the call-in show, and I have nothing against the people currently in the call-in show, but I do want to highlight my patron friends. They support me, and I want to make sure that they know how much I appreciate them. So if you are a patron of mine and you want to join and talk, come on, join us in. If not, I will sit here and ramble like someone else I know who streamed recently. Mead is going to come on my Twitch at some point. Just have to get him free on Saturday. I am down. I actually would love to do that. I think it'd be fun to... well, I'd be curious to be part of it. I've watched your show a lot, and I would be curious to be a part of it. It seems like a lot of fun. So, kind of new to this channel. Who is BC? BC is a guy who runs another Mead channel on the YouTube sphere called Doing the Most. And he and I collaborate quite a bit. We both live in Oklahoma City. It's kind of funny that the top 3 mead making people in the world all live in the US for one, but the two of the top 3 basically, I say top 3 because of subscriber ranks, not because of accolades or anything, just subscribers. Actually, we live in Oklahoma City, so it's yeah, it's kind of interesting. It is wild how that works out. I was reminiscing a little bit. So my first interaction with BC was kind of through Reddit some, but I also threw a comment on one of his videos where he talked about mead mistakes, or mead making mistakes that people do because of YouTubers, and one was talking about putting ingredients that are just kind of wild and not regular. And so I made some silly comment about how why aren't peppermints supposed to go into mead. So that was one of my first things, first chats with him. So there we go. Man, I gotta get my game up and make a Mead channel. Do it. Who's the non-Mead? Yeah, that's CS. That is them. So, and then there aren't a lot of Mead channels. I say top 3, acting like there's a lot of us, like there's 30 or 40 of us. The truth is, there are literally, I want to say 5, like, major. I guess there's some more in recent years. When I first started, it was only Canadian Sasquatch. If you've never seen his stuff, he's a very, very nice guy. I did a podcast with him, but he was one of the big guys. And then Grow and Fell, Ricky the Mead Maker from Grow and Fell, who was the other big guy. So both of those people were the big ones, and then I joined the Sphere. And I was a small guy for a long time, and I still am a small guy in comparison. But like I said, I act like being top 3 is like, if there's a bunch of us, there's not a lot. So it's still fun. Yeah. Have you tried a Polish mead What the heck? Poltorak? No, I have not. I have a video coming out, not this Monday, the coming Monday, whatever that day is, the 22nd, maybe? That is the 24 different mead styles and kinds of mead and the mead styles. And it runs through them all and talks about them. It's just a way to help people understand more about mead, because my channel is often, it is about mead education. That's my big highlight. Strawberry. I'm gonna let BC talk about that. Texas Longhouse says, "Well, y'all got it cornered. I just started, but I can't even try to compete with it." That's not true, man. Dude, make your stuff. Like I love getting to watch all mead making content. Eric and Derek are new people who have joined the mead making sphere, and they're making great stuff. And they're very fun to watch as well. I think they do a great job being fun, you know, and it's educational and fun at the same time. And then I'm trying to think who else there are. There are some other people. Oh crap, I'm terrible. This happens all the time. Being a teacher, like I'll have a student come up and like I'll just forget their names. So I'm the worst about that. I'm gonna be literally a potato by the time I'm 40. Lost audio. No. Can you hear me? Okay, well, you should check out Brandon, check out BC with Doing the Most. He does a lot of great stuff. What is the hardest part of getting going when you started your channel? Well, I think part of my challenge was that I was super new to mead making, so like literally whenever anyone who watched me from the beginning, when you were learning about mead, I was learning about mead. And so it was hard for me to give information in a meaningful way because I was so new to the world. So that was a struggle. But also, like, I didn't know much about video editing. I'd done a little bit. You can go look at my old videos, and they don't have a lot of... they're very like talk at the camera, but there's nothing that gives you information. And for me, a video, I'm a very visual person. So when I watch a mead video and it doesn't have any cards, anything that says like, hey, this is the starting gravity, or, you know, here's the final gravity, or, oh, watch out, make sure you sanitize, or do anything like that, then my brain just kind of tunes it out. So it's a bad on me, but I've learned to do both. Talk about the thing, put it in people's face and say, hey, make sure you sanitize, or hey, make sure that you use the Lalvin D47 on this specific recipe, yada yada yada. So yeah, that is my struggle, was editing mostly at the time. Spike says my channel's all over the place. Activism, brewing, distilling, barbecue. That's the best. That's awesome, man. You can make videos all day. That's kind of nice to not corner yourself. You know, my thing is man-made mead. If I go and make a beer video, people will revolt, and people will, you know, get angry that I've made a beer video. Not angry, but people don't watch this stuff because I'm not a beer channel. So leaving yourself to be open is nice. You're able to branch out. That's what I mean. Let's see, what else we got? Texas Longhouse, most of my stuff makes it on Facebook page. That's not a bad place either. Regardless of where you post things, go for it. Don't worry about views. I put a post up on YouTube, my community page the other day, and I really mean it. I don't ever mean to be preachy. I feel a little preachy saying this, but as I find myself diving deeper into the world of mead making, what I'm experiencing most is that I'm never getting enough views to satisfy me. I'm never getting enough likes or anything like that. I can have a video that is blowing up in some proportion, and I'm still going, oh man, I want more views. So I think at the end of the day, when I inevitably, due to life circumstance, have to move on from making 2 videos a week, I want to remember and be proud of the things I've done and the joy I had while doing it, not the amount of views, because those are just a temporary thing. It's the experience, the joy, the education, and the learning that will stick with you for the years and years to come. And that is my preaching moment. I'm moving on from that. Anyways. So, all right, well, I am switching over to the call-in show. If you want to join, if you're on the Discord and you want to join the call-in show, feel free to join me here. I will be chatting with y'all. I am currently in there. This is open to everybody on the Discord. So if you have a voice, you are welcome to join us. So here we are. Welcome, Javier. How you doing?
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Let me make sure my audio's not going crazy. Sweet. What are you drinking?
I have just finished my keg of mead, and I switched over to whiskey.
Sweet. Are you a big whiskey guy, or is it just are you a casual whiskey drinker?
I would say casual. This is from a distillery here in Katy, Texas, that one of the people from our club opened up their own distillery.
That's awesome, man. That's great. What do you got going on in your mead world?
I just put in my plantain. Let's see, what would I even call it? I would guess my plantain blend into secondary. I took a bunch of plantains, roasted them in the oven, then blended them and had sous vide them for 6 hours with a Milo 300 to convert all the starches to sugar.
Dude, I haven't done a lot with plantain. I've never brewed with them for one, but is it candied plantains? What is it? It's like some process where you add some sugar of some sort, and it's like a dessert. It's so good. I immediately thought of that when you said plantains. Not something.
Well, they're usually fried.
Oh, is that what it is? Maybe
Yeah.
I've had them fried and like somebody just threw a bunch of butter and sugar in. That's probably what happened. So that sounds awesome. That seems like something I need to throw into the. Can it be a mead? just put another thing out there just to figure it out. Welcome, Shaggy. Welcome to the chat, man. Glad you're here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Javier.
No, it's all good.
We got Scott now. Welcome, Scott. If you want to join us on the Discord, and you're in the chat here on YouTube, feel free to check the description. There's a Discord link. I want to make sure and highlight that. Don't join just specifically for this talk, but join for the fact that it's a community of people who love making mead and want to grow, and you can be a part of that. So, welcome you guys. What's going on, Scott, Shaggy?
Just sitting at home, wondering if I can drink my raspberry mead yet, but it's got another 8 days before I bottle it.
Oh, so is it not done fermenting, or are you just trying to be a good mead maker and not drink it before it's bottled?
I back sweetened it because my wife likes a sweeter mead, and I made it way strong.
I see. So, have you taken a gravity reading? I'm curious. What's funny to me, and I want to know in the chat with people, if you've back sweetened things, what do you find to be sweet? Because like I've back sweetened things, and I found that like 1.020 or 1020 is like probably my max level of sweetness before I get grossed out. So, did you take a gravity reading?
I did not on this one, but I did have a blood orange that I did before this, and it came out like a 121.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's still good. So, go ahead. Sorry. Oh man, we got a lot of people here in the Discord. Welcome all these people. This is so nice. So you've got that going on, and you're just trying to be patient. Well, you said it's too sweet. Are you gonna do something about the sweetness? What's your goal?
Oh no, I'm back sweetening it so my wife will drink it. I'm making it sweeter because
I see
right
what you're saying. Okay.
Really dry.
I see. So you're just waiting. You're trying to not drink too much of it, so there's more for her.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Dude, you're getting brownie points. I mean, man, I mean, my fiance was somewhere in the chat a little while ago, so if she's still here, I'm sure she would. She's not gonna be expecting that of me, but man, that's good on you. Good on you, man. That's solid husband move.
I will tell her you said so.
Oh man, we got I don't know how you say that name. Syaht. Siat? Maybe. Oh, he's gone. See you later. Scott, welcome. Feel free to chat if you'd like. I know Scott's also in here.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. Tried Groenfeld's Winter Warmer today. That's really good. Like you have to heat it up. I tried it at room temperature. It wasn't very good.
Wait, which one was it? Did you say?
The Winter Warmer.
Oh, I haven't had that one. They just came out with it was a coffee and blueberry combination one, and I actually I saw it, and I within 2 minutes of seeing it went and ordered it and something else from them because I was super interested in it.
Yeah, the bright eyes.
Yes, I was super interested in that, so I'm curious. That'll be if it doesn't freeze.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's pretty delicious. I'm hoping that their sizer is pretty good. I just ordered that.
I also ordered that. Yeah, those were the two that I got. So I'm a big. I mean, like I've talked about this before, but Ricky has been one of my people that I've looked up to a long time, YouTube career wise, but also he's just a cool mead maker. So I'm definitely interested with their stuff.
Yeah, his videos were awesome before you came around, but like now we got you to watch.
No, I mean I can't take the place of him. He started it all. He's the goat, I would say. Man, we got lots of people in here. We got Rick and we got Frugal.
Yeah, his videos were awesome before you came around, but like now we got you to watch.
What's going on, guys?
He started it all. He's the goat, I would say.
Yeah, definitely the goat, but like it's good to have somebody new.
Oh, absolutely.
Now we got you to watch.
Let's see. Oh, we got a big delay going on, Rick. I think that's you, my brother. You're. I think the stream is a little bit behind, so you might have to listen to just the Discord chat for a little bit.
Right. I just turned it down.
Cool. What's going on, man?
I went a little crazy this weekend. I ended up doing 5 batches. I made 2 ginger metheglins in my 1.4 gallon carboys.
Oh.
Then I did the Honey Crisp hydromel that BC did on his channel.
Yeah.
Then I had another one. I called it a rich coffee hydromel. So I took the base of that, but I used wildflower honey, and I did cold brew coffee.
Mm-hmm. That's
in that. And I remember from you didn't like some of the coffee experiments that you had. So
oh man, it was rough. That was terrible.
Yes, cold brew I think is going to work out really well. And then I realized I had an extra fermenter around. So what I did was I took the Honey Crisp hydromel and I decided to just boost it up to 6.5%, just a slightly bigger version. And because I had entirely too much ginger, I put some ginger in it, but nowhere near the amount that I put in the ginger metheglins.
So are you putting with your ginger, only because I have a little bit of experience with it. In fact, I just realized it's not even on my Can It Be a Mead wheel. That's silly. Anyways, have you tried putting it in the primary versus secondary? What would you say for anybody, in our chat? Is it better to do primary, secondary? Have you experimented? Where are you at with that?
I can't say if it's better or not. I brewed beer for 25 years ago. I just recently came back into mead. Started out again with mead this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just basing this off of what I saw on CS Mead and More.
Mm-hmm.
He did a ginger mead there. He did it in a primary, so I pretty much followed what he did. They loved the way it came out, so I'm expecting it to come out well.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think, well, here's the thing. I just started I haven't done many method blends, and that's one thing of my meads to make. It's just more method blends, just base level, probably not too many ingredient method blends. So like I started a cinnamon one, and I put the cinnamon in the primary, and I taste tested it a little bit yesterday, and it's pretty hot. Maybe it was a lot of I mean, it's a young mead, so it's like still coming out of primary. It's got its problems, but what I'm finding and what I'm most scared about with using any spice is the overwhelming power of it. So I find myself most often putting any spice in the secondary, and that's just so I have complete control of like pulling it out and just saying, all right, I'm done. No more. So
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I think if you're looking for aromatics, obviously you're going to get a lot more if you put it in secondary, because, a lot of it will come out in the primary.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
it's again, I have not A/B tested. That's another thing. I've done fruit before. I've A/B tested, do pineapples do better in primary, secondary, whatever.
There you go. Looks like you have a new A/B test.
Yeah, no, that's the fun part about mead is you never run out of things to do. There's always a test.
Yeah, and the other thing I ended up doing is because I bought entirely too much ginger, I decided, I'm going to make ginger beer too. So I have the ginger go in, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, and that'll all be done.
Man, one of my my weaknesses is like I love a Moscow Mule. Holy cow! I could just drink that all day, and so man, I love those. So if I had ginger beer just ready,
one of the method ones that I did, I put lime and ginger in it, lime and mint as well. So it's kind of more like a mojito.
Ooh, that sounds good. A mojito mead.
Yeah.
Man.
So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted.
Let me know. I'm curious. I haven't used a lot of ginger. I've used it in 2 or 3 recipes now, but I would love to experiment with it more, and I think that it could be kind of fun.
Right on.
Yeah. What's going on with everybody else? Got Bruegel and Javier and Scott and Shaggy all in our call-in show. If you want to join us in the call-in show to chat, the Discord link is below, or if you're already part of the Discord, just join the call-in show chat, and you might have to mute the stream for a moment, but feel free to talk to us. What's going on, Frugal? I think I scared him. I spooked him by talking too much. Or he's listening to the chat, or the live stream, one of the two. Anyways.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
There's a mead I really love from a local meadery. Peanut butter jelly crime.
Ooh, I've had that. Mm-hmm.
You've had that, so superstition. Okay. Anybody know how to make that? How they did that?
So I will say, this feels so snarky. I feel like so crazy. Anyways, I've had that mead itself, the peanut butter jelly crime from Superstition, was this third peanut butter jelly mead I had. The first one I had ever was it had some stupid looking label on it. It was from this place, I don't know if it's from Minneapolis, but somebody had brought it when I went to the Iron Bee, and it was like Sammy's, I don't know, grapes or something silly, but it legit tasted like you just bit into a peanut butter sandwich. So then I went the next step, came back immediately, tried to make it on my own, and that's the video on the channel of the peanut butter jelly mead, throwing graham crackers in and going crazy. And then I tried that one. Of the I'll say 2 I've tried. I'm not going to consider mine. The previous one was better. I do like Superstition's rendition of it. I think they did a good job in encapsulating the peanut butter character and the flavor. And I don't know how they did the peanut butter side. I know you can use syrups. I know that some people might try to use I've heard of people trying to use like powdered peanut butter because it doesn't have oil. So that might be the road that you go down, but the easiest part to get is the jelly, because you can use grape juice. The Superstition people, I think they used, I don't know if you might remember, Shaggy, but the one I had blueberry jam jelly as the base, so I'm sure they used blueberry sweetness. So that's the easy part. It's the peanut butter that's hard, and the crust. My crust recommendation is graham crackers. I have no idea how to do it otherwise, to be honest.
Well, I think you're onto something with the powdered peanut butter, because I made a chocolate peanut butter stout. And I used the powdered butter, and that turned out really good.
Interesting. That's I've heard about the powdered peanut butter. That's a whole tongue twister. Powdered peanut butter. But I've never done it. That's another experiment. I've got a lot to do. I do think the oils, that's the biggest challenge with getting a peanut butter tasting mead. I have used, when I did my peanut butter jelly mead, I used the amaretti peanut butter syrup, and it did okay. It was pretty strong sometime later. So I don't know if peanut butter powder would be better ultimately.
You know what? That might be my first mead video then.
Yeah. Do it, man. I would love to see it. I want to, I mean, we all can learn from one another, and I have no doubt that you'll do something great with it. Absolutely.
I'll put a video up for that one. Make sure everybody can, because man, that's a taste you gotta enjoy.
Oh yeah, it's a weird one. You know, I think that I was on. There's a Instagram page called a meadery in, I think it's right, London, called Gosnell's Meadery, and I was on actually yesterday with them. I had a nice time getting to chat with them, and they asked me about like my goal mead. What mead do I want to make, and like what's my ultimate goal I want to make? Mead I want to make. Goodness. And I said a peanut butter jelly mead because it's a weird one, but man, if you can master it, you could just blow people away. I think that's the truth of it.
Okay. By the way, what was the first one you mentioned again besides Superstition?
The other meaderies. Sorry. Honestly, here's the problem. When I was at the Iron Bee, I do not remember the name of that company. Let me just look it up. I bet. I know that the Superstition one is the main one, so that like if I look it up, people are gonna come up. It's gonna come up on that, but it's not that. I honestly think it was like one of those that like they don't make it anymore, and it sounds like I'm making it up now, but I don't think you can buy it anymore. That sucks, because I would kill for that mead again. The only one I can find is the Superstition one. That's a bummer. Oh well.
Yeah, I like those. Right around. So I mean, easy to get.
Oh, I wish I lived around Superstition. I would love to tour their facility and see what they have done. I got to do a podcast with them, and it was just fantastic. I learned so much, and I've loved getting to do that. So I think I freaked my stream out. Is the stream lagging for anybody else? Or is it my connection that's being goofy?
Looks fine to me.
Hopefully
Looks fine to me.
Sweet. Awesome. So is there anything I would love to prompt? I want to ask you guys, for one, you guys in the call-in show, but I would also like to ask anybody in the chat. Speaking of meads, like the ultimate mead you want to make. What is that? What's the ultimate mead you want to make in your career? That sounds so silly, like that's your highlight. But I think that we all have one that we want to like just make and knock the crap out of.
I finally got my mic working. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's going on?
The ultimate mead I want to make is a really, really thick, like 3 to 5 year aged Polish mead.
Ooh, yeah.
That's gonna take a long time.
Oh man, I just now have a few meads that are reaching 3 to 3.5 years. I have a 2020 box that I put up in the corner, and I survived all of 2020 by not touching the box. I didn't get a single mead out of it, and so I'm kind of just trying to still avoid it. But it's hard to wait. That's a long time to sit. Yeah, I can't imagine. You're gonna have to make a lot of stuff in between then. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, the lucky part is that if you got other meads going, then you don't have to worry about that one so much.
Oh yeah, for sure. I talked about that earlier. You know, like watching paint dry in one room. If you go in the other room and start painting, you forget about the other one. So it's a game. It's a big game that we play. For sure. Man, we got a lot of people in the Discord. New people joining. Well, I would say congratulations. Welcome, new people. Feel free to join us in the call-in show. Super glad you're here. We somehow still kept BC in the chat, which is fun.
Somehow.
Nice. I got a question. I don't know if you have answered this on one of your videos or not, but what do you do? Like, you pair your like blueberry honeys with the actual blueberries to make it like more of a rounder taste?
I purposefully, I mean, I would love to say that yes I do, but the truth is I don't. Like, very rarely have I found a coincidence that like I'm making a blueberry mead and here's my blueberry honey. I think given the opportunity, I would for sure dive in. In fact, you know, just on the other side of the door in my kitchen, I have 60 pounds of blueberry honey that I'm funny enough, I'm actually going to be using soon. So like my plan is definitely to pair the two together or other opportunities like that, but I don't always do so. I think that you can get the most out of a flavor by doing so, but I feel like it's a lot of not chance, quote, but it's a lot of coincidence sometimes. If you have the honey, do it. If you don't fret and don't think that you're going to struggle making a blueberry mead or a raspberry mead if you don't have raspberry blossom honey or whatever. Welcome, Texas Longhouse Mead. Glad you're here.
What's going on?
What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. How you doing?
Great. What do you got going on in your brew house?
Man, I got a lot going on right now. I got a mango. I got 13 gallons of mango going right now. I'm gonna pull 5 gallons out later. Once it's done fermenting, should be done fermenting middle of next week.
Ooh.
But 5 gallons is going into the glass for mango habanero. And that's gonna be still. That's gonna be 11%, and the rest of it's going into kegs. Man. And then I have a blueberry hibiscus that we're gonna put on American medium toast oak for 6 months, and then go with that.
Dude, that sounds awesome. So you said 13 gallons. What are you brewing in?
I have a 15-gallon mini brew conical fermenter.
Okay.
That is my primary one. Of course, you know, got to leave room for the head space. And I thought I degassed it well enough the other day that when I added the 9 grams of fermento, it created a meat volcano in the brew room.
Oh yeah, been there. It is. Man, I did that today. I talked about my mead fail earlier with the whole carboy situation in the oak spiral. My other one was I have these from my yeast shootout series. I put them all in half-gallon fermenters, and I just finished one recently. I degassed it, and so I wasn't too worried about it, becoming a bomb. So I put a actual lid on the half-gallon container. Well, earlier I was moving stuff and I dropped that thing. It didn't break, but it definitely went wild, and I tried to open it up real fast and it volcanoed out. It was a whole scene. So I definitely understand that. It sucks, but I would love to be able to do bigger batches. One of my goals is to be able to do. I would love to do a 15-gallon batch. I'm about to start a 10-gallon. I think it's 10 gallon. Yeah. 10-gallon mead for my wedding. My plan is to make a mead recipe that uses my fiance's favorite fruit, which is pears, and mine, which is, I use just so much apple that I would consider apple my favorite, and kind of combine them and make this mead that will ultimately age for 25 years, which is a very bold claim. But I'm trying to make one that I can have a bottle at every anniversary. So I have no idea if that'll work, but that is the goal. But I do need to start with a 10-gallon batch, and currently I'm having to start with 2 different buckets. So that's a whole situation.
Yeah, it definitely is. I wish I could keep stuff around long enough. I got a couple of buddies that help me out and do some stuff. I have a co-brewer. That was the first time he ever tried mead, was at his bachelor party, and ever since then he's been addicted. And he comes around so much that I said, "Why don't you become my co-brewer?" And he said, "Yeah." He wants to. He's been trying to make a big push for us to trying to start heading towards our own meadery, but I want to get some competitions and get some good feedback. Been making mead for 3.5 years, or 2.5 years, but never entered competitions except for the mead house. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's they give you the ingredients and stuff, but the rest of it, everything I've ever made, everyone except one, which was a watermelon lemon or watermelon lime, that we ended up dumping down the drain.
Yeah. Did you try to use real watermelon within that, or?
No, actually, we used the amaretti watermelon flavoring, but we ended up using like too much lemon rind, and it literally smelled like hand soap and tasted like hand soap, so we dumped it.
Interesting. I actually have, I'm constantly working on stuff, but one is a watermelon hydromel, because we're coming up to summertime-ish, and I think that's an interesting one people might like. I'm using that same amaretti flavoring, and I actually used, I needed to adjust the acid levels on it, so rather than use an acid blend, I decided to use lemon juice. So I added like an ounce of lemon juice to this one, and it wasn't too much. So I can definitely see how you could probably go overboard with lemon juice or zest for sure. I don't doubt that at all. But that's interesting. Watermelon's a hard one to use. I've never tried to use the actual fruit, because honestly everybody I've talked to is like, stay away. It's just such a hard thing to do. It has a really bad, or really big problem rather, with bacteria, just because I guess there's like a certain point where the watermelon juice is super susceptible to bacteria, and so you kind of have to really time it well, otherwise it turns into basically just a bacteria mess. So I haven't tried yet. Maybe one day.
Well, yeah, that, and every time I think of watermelon, I think of Jolly Rancher watermelon. Doesn't quite come out the way I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's like that's just like it's just super sugary. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that my hydromel will turn out closer, but it is a hard flavor, even using amaretti. It's a tough one to use. So you gotta really know how to use it. That's for sure. Doing the Most says, I hear the secret is you just gotta drill a hole in the watermelon, pitch in some yeast, and then stab it with an airlock. Let it ride.
That's one way to do it.
How about this, BC? You and I, we both do that. We'll see who turns out better. We'll figure it out. We'll have a challenge. Man, that is wild.
I've tried and failed making a watermelon beer.
What'd you do with it?
I think what actually, it wasn't even the watermelon that was the issue. It was the milling was not done properly, so it ended up being like a 0.05%.
Oh, yeah, that's water. That's
Yeah,
for
so I
sure.
was like,
You made a
yeah,
water mead.
it's a water.
That's like fruit juice. You could make popsicles.
Yeah,
I was just
man.
I was just wondering on your wedding brew,
Mm-hmm.
how are you planning on imparting the pear flavor? Are you going to use amaretti or are you going to use actual pears? Because they're notorious for not imparting the flavor.
I'm going all fruit. I am not touching any natural flavors with this one. I'm going to keep it as true as possible. So my plan is I'm still formulating it. In fact, I got to get on it because my wedding's in like 3.5 months, so I got to figure this out. But like I planned on doing, since I can't do a big 10-gallon batch, I'll probably end up doing 2 5-gallon, or probably 6 gallons because after sediment, and 2 6-gallons, doing one that's all the apple, one that's all the pear in the primary, more than likely, which I know pear sucks. I've used pear quite a bit, and it's a hard fruit to harvest the real flavor out of. So I would probably, I'm still gonna chance it and put it in the primary. I might have to put more pear in the secondary. I don't know. Anyways, and then blend the two later on. That's my goal, but I have no idea how well it'll actually work. We'll see. It's also a test. Of course, I want it to be good and age for 25 years. It's gonna have to be high ABV in order to age that long. So I'm looking at using a lot of honey. That's for sure.
Which yeast are you looking at? Like something like 14, 15% or like 20% or like 25%?
Oh, I'm not going past 16 would be my max. So I might, like QA23 probably would be somewhere in that realm. The K1V1 it also does well with the lighter fruits from my experience, but it gets up to 18, so it's a pretty hot fermenter. I'm looking at 16%. I don't want it to be jet fuel. You know, I know that 20 years from now it won't be jet fuel, but I don't want the 10-year anniversary one to be jet fuel still. So I think that'll be the interesting test to see ultimately.
Well, that and sulfates and synthetic corks probably.
Oh well, yeah, I'm all synthetic corks. I don't want to be elitist, but man, real corks suck. Are you kidding me? You have to store it in the right way. Like, if I had all real corks, I would be screwed because I'd be storing bottles and it'd just be a pain. So I'm team synthetic cork all the way, for sure.
Definitely agreed.
Not that there's anything wrong. I feel like I'm shaming people who use real corks, but I just don't want to deal with the hassle. I don't have the space to store it sideways, and I know like doing the most just built a big wine rack, but not all of us can be rich people like doing the most, you know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You're right. Not that there's anything wrong. Oh man. No, I think that you got to use what you have, and that's part of what I've realized with mead making as I have dove further deeper into this world, and you start to see people who are in other countries who don't have the same things. We have to realize that, like, well, I say we, and this is talking to myself. The truth is, like, not everybody has Fermate O, so like. We have to use what we can get, and so if raisins are the only thing you can ever use as nutrient or bread yeast, then that's great. You know what I mean? But the world of mead making is easy for some, aka anybody who has access to Amazon or a local brew shop, and hard for anybody who doesn't have access to those things. So providing the information for us to all be good home brewers, regardless of access, is important to me. So I want to make sure and say that, like, synthetic corks are cool, and you know, real corks are cool. All of those things are cool. Make mead that you want to drink, and that your friends want to drink. Hopefully.
We all appreciate how accessible you are. it's really great to watch your channel, to be honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I love getting to do this stuff, and I truly, this is like I think I've said it many times, but like one of my favorite things to do, and the most fun things I've been able to do is like the community building things, like the Mead community series I'm starting and that stuff. I just love getting to foster this and to be a part of this, and so I'm hopeful to continue to be a part of that in the future, and to hopefully use my power for good and not for evil. So
I
I'll
had
tell
a
you.
question earlier about, you know, resources and such. Where are you sourcing? Where are everybody sourcing their mead from? I'm fairly new to this, so I'm kind of hitting the local apiaries and sourcing my mead there. But I'm like limited to like mesquite and wildflower and sometimes orange blossom. Is there an online retailer or something I'm missing out on? Or
are you in the U.S.?
yeah, I'm in Arizona actually.
Okay, yeah. Then you local, of course. You know, if you can find a local source that is not extremely expensive, use them, of course. But I would say that the online sources I've used commonly have been DutchGoldHoney.com, which is, they do all honey, of course, and they have a lot of varietals. They have decent shipping, and they have good prices, in my opinion, and it's unpasteurized, unfiltered. So that's step one to be a good mead maker.
If you go to honey.com,
Uh-huh.
I think it is, then they have a map where you can look up local distributors.
Yeah, that's actually on my website. That's one of my things, is locate honey. If you ever need to get to there quickly, or just look it up, honey.com. That's a good way to do it. The online sources I like I said, Dutch Gold is one. I just bought from, oh crap. This is another, I've had 3 instances now where I can't remember names on the spot. Oh shoot, I gotta look it up now. Dutch Gold and Glory Bee is another one I've used. That source is from, I can get it in store at my crap, what's that place called? Man, I am blanking all over the place.
That forgetfulness doesn't get any better, by the way.
Dude, I'm screwed then. If this is true, then I'm screwed. Crystal's Honey is the other one. That's online. I just bought a 60-pound pail of blueberry from them, and I tasted it. Super good. I don't know how it fares with mead making, but I definitely would say that it's worked decently well for what I'm doing. So those are some bulk ones I can think of. I will remember the other one in a moment, but I just remembered the other one, the main one. I would look online for bulk honey. It's hard to buy local bulk honey for good prices, at least around me.
American Mead Makers Association usually has like their deal of the month too, that you can get bulk honey from.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've seen people using them and getting some super good deals. Like, holy cow, I've found some really weird varietal honeys, at least through other people, because of that.
Yeah, I got 60 pounds through the American Mead Maker Association up to flow, which is normally $800 for 60 pounds. But through them, I was able to get it for $400 for 60 pounds.
That's wild, man. That's such a good deal. I mean, it's still a lot of money. I know there are a lot of people who just heard $400 for 60 pounds and like fainted, but that is a good deal. Believe it or not, that is a good deal.
You know, I feel completely spoiled with my homebrew club. We do a honey buy once a year where we get our honey around $3 a pound.
Ooh, hey, there you go.
I buy 20 pounds that last me the entire year because I don't make that much.
Yeah, no, I think that's. I mean, that's the truth. Is like, you know, for me, it's all about how much you make. And if 60 pounds will last you a year or two, great. You know what I mean? That's like, buying bulk is going to save you money ultimately. The problem with buying bulk is that you're sunk into using that honey and pairing everything you do around that honey. So you have to be conscious of that when you buy something. Don't buy some weird varietal. Like, for example, I bought 40 pounds of buckwheat honey, and I make a lot of mead. But what the heck am I going to do with 40 pounds of buckwheat honey? That is the strongest flavored honey that exists in the universe. And 40 pounds is like, it might as well be 240. So like, I'm having to find some things to do with it. So just make sure you buy your honey with an understanding of what you want to do with it.
So would that be considered a mead fail?
That's not a mead fail because I will use it. That's the only thing. It will be a mead fail if I had no idea what to do. I have ideas. It's just gonna take a long time to blow through it all. So
hey, you can sell it to me if you want.
yeah. I'll use it eventually. I like buckwheat honey. It's just weird. And it's like it's just a funky taste.
Never had that. How does it compare to, like, say,
Okay, so the best, and he's in the chat right now, but the best explanation of buckwheat honey was from Doing the Most. He said it is like a horse blanket, and it sounds totally negative. It sounds like you want to just vomit when you think of horse blanket. But the truth is, it's very grassy. It's very molasses, dark malt extract-y. It has this like hay-esque profile to it that is super overpowering.
So it's similar to Brettanomyces.
Oh my gosh, I just had the best idea ever. You should make a sour beer and then blend it with a mead that's made out of that, and then you kind of get yourself a nice earthy tasting mead.
It's double horse blanket. Double horse blanket.
Exactly. I mean, I've used it. I have another mead going on where I used 2 pounds of blackberry honey, a pound of clover, and only a half a pound of the buckwheat. And you can still, even with 3 pounds of other honey, get a good taste and aromatic of that buckwheat. So it's strong, and I feel like I'm throwing like red flags for anybody who wants to try buckwheat honey. It's not bad. I would just caution you to buy smaller so that you can use it wisely. I mean, you can make a buckwheat traditional, but it's quite the thing. Apparently, I said Doing the Most. So everybody in the chat, you either have to, take a couple sips or something, because I'm just preaching it. So. Horse blanket. Oh man. Buckwheat tastes great in barbecue sauce? What? Ooh. I can see it being good in a coffee mead. I can see like it working well. I don't really know.
I've got a question, if you allow it.
What's up?
So I've thought about a dumb way or maybe an ingenious way of getting fruit or spice flavor into meads. I would say dehydrating the fruit, then making a tea with it, and then using that tea to make inverted sugar with it, and use that to back sweeten honey. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. So you're inverting the sugar and you're doing what with the tea?
Right. So you take your fruit or whatever, and you dehydrate it, and then you make a tea with that. And you use that tea to make invert sugar, and you use that to back sweeten.
Interesting. I do wonder.
I know a lot of Belgian style brews use, I think Belgian style, invert sugars for making those beers.
Yeah,
I think they use the beet sugar.
I could see that working. I have zero experience in doing it, so I can't say that it would or not, but I can see it being a possibility.
Do you have a lot of experience using those dried fruits? Because I've been looking into using dried fruits as it might be easier to get the flavor.
I don't really ever use I don't know. I've been scared to. I've seen people use dried whatever mango, for example, but I guess I haven't seen the need to yet. That's part of it. I have the accessibility to get mango puree or mango juice or mango whatever. So it could be a good A/B test in the future. I haven't had the necessity to yet. I think it's possible. I don't know the rehydration process though.
Depending on whether or not it's the same cost, it's more flavor packed in as smaller, more densely, so it could be better for like transport if it's coming a long way or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's another. I'm gonna write that down now. Dried fruit versus rehydrated or regular fruit. I've had a lot of good little Mead Mythbusters tests thanks to you guys tonight. Fruit versus.
We'll see who makes that one first. Maybe I'll try it too.
Do it, man. I mean, that's the big thing. Like, in all of my tests I do, like, it is. I hope that I'm giving value to these tests by showing you my results. But the truth is, at the end of the day, you are only going to understand my results, or results, quote, if you try them yourself. It's the same thing for recipes. You can watch a dude taste test a mead that he's made, and he's, quote, mastered. But until you've attempted the same recipe or done something in that regard, you're never going to really know. So, like, I mean, I'm not going to sit here. Yeah.
There's an insane amount of variables. So,
yeah. Well,
there's no way it's ever going to be the same.
It won't be the same. You're right. But you can get close. I would say that, if 100% is the exact same thing, you're going to at least hit 80 in truth. Using the same yeast and possibly relative same fruit, same-ish honey, you're going to get close. You're not going to get the exact same thing, but that's better than zero. When you watch a YouTube video, you have about 10% knowledge of what that person has done. 10% is like nothing compared to 80. So, yeah. That's just my opinion.
I wonder if dried watermelon will work.
Ooh, dried watermelon. Isn't watermelon is all... It's just all water. So, like, what does dried watermelon look like? Well, that's what I want to know.
There's a sugar that, like, that's where all the flavor comes from.
Yeah. I really want to know what dried watermelon looks like now. That seems...
Yeah, it's like a pale pink. I think I've seen it before.
Is it just like looks like a tea? Is that essentially what it looks like? Dried... I have to know now. Watermelon. It probably... Ew, that looks weird. Gross. Are you talking about like a tea, like a base? Like if you were to rehydrate, or like a...
It looks like jerky.
It does. Wait, ew. What the heck? Oh, I'm 100% showing this to the world. Here we go. Y'all, you get to experience the grossness of a dried watermelon with me. Ew, look at that.
What if it tastes really good?
It looks like a grapefruit just like got smashed. Like he sliced and smashed. That's what it looks like to me.
I dehydrate watermelon. We grow all the time. It is yummy.
Oh man, look at that. That is... I'm sure there's a little bit of a delay, so y'all on the Discord won't see this exactly. But holy cow, this thing looks weird. Look at that thing. Oxymoron dried watermelon. What a goof. What a goofy thing. Oh man. Yeah, I would now I want to buy some dried watermelon and see what happens. Doing the most says if everybody in the chat super chatted $1 right now, we could buy 1 pound of Manuka honey. If you don't know anything about Manuka honey, it is expensive. It's like, I can't remember I think it's like $20 or $30 for a pound. It is just stupid expensive, but it's this like weird varietal. So that's actually what we used. He bought for one of our collaborative things, which was the Mead swap series. If you want to watch that, that's like where we pass a mead back and forth and don't tell each other what happened. He bought Manuka honey, and it's expensive. I still have some, so who came out on top? That's the real question. Since I started that one. Let's see. I am going to just double check my camera to make sure that it's not going to die. Give me one. Okay, we're good. I do, only because I think that I've talked about my dog many times on the stream before, and 2 weeks ago when I talked about him, I talked about how he literally lost his mind about a minute before the stream started and tore a bunch of cables up and stuff. He is currently just chilling. So here's the current state. If I can pull it up on the thing. Come on. Every time I need something to work, it doesn't work. Maybe. Someone asked, have you tried Kveik yeast for mead making? Yes, actually, that's another one of those videos that BC and I have done at this point. We've done a bunch, but we did a second and third gen Kveik test. Kveik, however you say it. And it was very interesting. Kveik, however you say it properly, is a rather wild yeast, and I haven't used it as much, but it's definitely one that is super versatile for hot brewing from my experience, and I would suggest anybody who lives in a hotter climate to try using it, because it does work well. And I haven't made as much. If you want to go to the expert, try talking to Doing the Most. There's another shot for you. He has done a lot with it. I think he might swear by it at this point. Anyways, enough of me chatting. What's going on with you guys here in the Discord? What's going on?
I'm just helping somebody with the mango habanero recipe.
Ooh, there we go.
I'm just waiting for my mead to get done, and I'm crying right now because I want to be drinking it.
Yeah, I understand that. It's tough.
I'm drinking my super yeasty beer.
I need to start another beer. I normally have some sort of beer that I've done. My last one I did kind of threw me off from attempting more beers, only because it was an IPA I did, and it used some weird hops, and it just turned out funky. It had some weirdness to it, and I just haven't made one since. It's been probably 4 months since I did anything with it. So yeah,
I tried to make the amber ale that I was brewing into a honey amber ale by tweaking the recipe. I don't know if I let it sit on the yeast for far too long, or if it fermented at a higher temperature. But there's a kind of a funky yeasty off taste to it. And now I'm stuck with 50 bottles of it, so I need to finish it
how
up
young is it?
my next batch. It's about like 2 weeks of carbonation, and then 2 more. It's about 4 weeks.
Okay.
In conditioning.
So it's
4 weeks.
Well, and that's part of the problem, is it's bottled, and so it's not like you can't really do anything to quote. I'll say quote fix it. It's already there. The product's made. So
exactly.
I would say that I don't know. I'll chalk it up a learning lesson and go from there, trying to figure out what to do about it in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking now I need to really get into temperature control because I think this was a Safefail SO4, and I think it ended up fermenting in probably at 72 or 74 Fahrenheit. I think
yeah.
that I'm suspecting that might have led to a stressed out yeast, contributing to a yeasty flavor.
Yeah.
That's my suspicion.
One thing I learned, I had a really fun podcast with Eric Fowler, who's someone from White Labs Yeast. He's one of the education specialists. He talked about how, it's eye-opening to me, how fusels are often something that don't necessarily fall, quote, out of a brew. And what I kind of heard when I first started brewing was that the fusels are something that eventually fizzle out. And him talking about how most of the time they stay around was kind of a little scary to me, just because I feel like I had built a lot of my brewing around like this idea that, oh, I got a weird flavor. Well, it's going to go away eventually, right? So I don't know. I think that understanding that fusels are a thing, but also understanding that fusels are something that you have to learn to control from the beginning is super important.
Well, that's kind of weird because I've heard this talk where basically the yeast is cleaning up after itself. So if it's still like there's still yeast in suspension, then it can still clean up the brew and eat up some of those off flavors, which that doesn't coincide with what the White Labs guy is saying, which I would kind of trust him more. So that is kind of confusing.
Well, I agree in the respect that like I think that there is a line. There's a line where they're fork in the road, so to speak, where you're going along and let's say that your brew has cleared up and the yeast are inactive. I think that the fork kind of goes and says like, okay, fusels are going to keep being there. But let's say that your fusels, or rather yeast, are still fermenting. There's a chance that those yeast can clean it up, like you said, and redeem the possible problematic things. So I think that is appropriate. I wouldn't say that it's a line in the sand, that it's an if, kind of situation.
It's also possible too that if the yeast is still a little bit active, then it could be either some of that yeast waste needs to get blown off out of there, and then the other thing is too, it could be creating some more flavors to kind of balance out those weird flavors that it kind of created at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I wish somebody had just like grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me early on and talked about how yeast, I understood that yeast choice mattered, but I didn't understand to what extent that yeast choice truly mattered. Only because I hadn't experienced it. And I think that the truth is that you don't understand what a Lalvin D47 brings to a brew until you pair it up against EC1118 or a Red Star Premier Rouge or something that is a different yeast. So, right. And that's not to like dissuade anybody and say like you'll never understand, but the truth is that like people like myself or any other brewing YouTuber can only talk about things so well. You have to go out and experience those things. And it sucks if you can't get those things easily. You might have to go out of your way and attempt to find them in some regard, but it's worth it. It's this education and understanding that you are going to be a better brewer once you understand more about the subject.
I just have one thing to say about a specific yeast manufacturer. So, Mangrove Jacks, compared to like any other yeast that I've tried so far, Mangrove Jacks is crazy. Like that thing ferments like a boss. I don't understand.
It is borderline a champagne yeast. It is intended just to chew through things. And I like it in some regards. And in my big test I've done previously in a yeast shootout, it did well. But it does. It just ferments, man. It's not in a good way. It's not necessarily a great thing.
Yeah, I got a bottle bomb that came from it because I didn't realize that even with the priming sugar, I needed to go less with the priming sugar just for that specific yeast because that thing still fermented that sugar like crazy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, it gets up to 18. It is legit it has to be intended as a, some sort of restarting fermentation yeast or champagne yeast, because no one in their right mind, it's like calling in backup for a fermentation. Like, that's exactly what it is. And it's a good thing, but you got to use it well. It's crazy.
Yeah. I just think they need to let everyone know a little bit more about that yeast. And like, hey, this is strong yeast.
Well, I don't like that they. Well, I'll put it this way: they are the only quote mead yeast that I know of. Someone else can probably point to one and say that specific company has made a quote mead yeast. But they're the ones who tote this is a mead yeast, which is a little bit rough because 18% is real hot. That's a pretty wild mead. Like a mead yeast to me is going to stop at like 14-15% at max, and it's going to be a slower fermenter, knowing that honey character comes from the fermentation process, and if you blow off the honey or aromatics, you're just literally throwing away the honey character. I just don't think that we're doing the mead community justice by toting that this 18% throw punches yeast is the mead yeast you're going to want to use all the time. So I'm sure I might get in trouble for saying that, but here we are.
I had a question about the point that you just made, especially about trying to read the aroma. Would it be that a faster or a more active fermenter like the Mangrove Jack or the EC1118, I believe, ends up driving out more of the honey character and aroma? Or like what's the contribution of the yeast activity or the fermentation activity to retaining the honey character or aroma? That's basically the question I was trying to get.
No, so for me, and I'm sure other people in the chat too can probably fix my errors, but for me the big thing is the quickness of fermentation for one. If it is a fast fermenter, oftentimes you are literally just shooting all of the aromatics out of the honey out of the airlock during that fermentation. So, for example, if your mead ferments in 9 days, you start at 1.100 and it ferments in 9 days. Not to say this is true all the time, but there's a good chance that you've lost aromatics of specific honey. So if you're using a really high quality honey, like Manuka honey, that's like stupid expensive, you might lose that important characteristic of it. And I would equate a good, an ideal mead yeast to me would be one that is a medium fermenter. It doesn't finish super slow, but it finishes decently fast. It holds true to that character by not blowing off the aromas during that fermentation, and by also retaining the perceived sweetness of said honey throughout the fermentation. Now, I have no idea what the science is behind perceived sweetness and the and how that works. I don't understand it, to be honest. I need to do some more research, because the idea that a honey or a mead can start at 1.100 and end at 1.000 and still be sweet is quite fascinating. I think a lot of it boils down to your aromatics, for one, from the honey character, but also the retention of, how do I put that? I wouldn't say the body. I'm trying to find a different word for body, but I think it's some I don't know how to put this.
Mouthfeel?
Maybe mouthfeel. It's not necessarily related to oh gosh, it's weird. There's like I said, I don't have enough data in my brain to completely communicate this, but there's perceived sweetness that I am still investigating. And oddly enough, we just talked about mangrove. The mangrove gets up to 18% fast fermenter. It's a freaking Mike Tyson of yeasts. The Lalvin EC1118, in my experience, not in everybody's, is like a mini Mike Tyson. It still does a lot of the same things, ferments fast, retains some honey character that's interesting. So I think it all boils down to the retention of the honey essence. And I know that's a lot of words to get to the point where I'm saying I don't know. But the truth is, there's some weird science going on, y'all. I am still figuring it out. I feel like I am just the beginning scientist in this whole world.
Nobody knows all of the science with yeast.
Oh my gosh. I've done that whole 8, I'm about to do another one in the future where I'm going to do another 8 and I'm going to do some other variables. Holy cow, I still feel like I don't know anything about this, and I have been blessed enough to have the ability to test all of these things, all these variables. So that's why I point you guys to trying things rather than to just listening to us brew YouTubers. We only know so much. You will get to experience it truly.
That's what I want to say.
So what would be one of the good medium fermenters in your recommendation? Because I've only been experimenting with D47, at least for Mead, and stuff like SO4 and SO5 for beer brewing, at least.
I'm going to point to the chat as well and say, I would love you guys' opinions and you guys as well. But I really like, oddly enough, of my big yeast test, the Red Star products, the Rouge, and the Blanc, and oh crap, what was the other one? There's one more. I'm blanking now. Anyways, those products fermented a little slower, so they actually retained a little more honey character. So Rouge, Blanc were decent. The Lalvin K1 is not on my list as one of my favorites. I know some people use it. It's not great, in my opinion. And oh gosh, again, I should have these things on hand. What's that one called? There's one I remember that specifically is intended to highlight some color varieties. I do use a lot of the EC1118, even though it is a champagne yeast. Some people will say that is too vigorous of a fermenter. The 71B is not my favorite. Falling in that, I'm trying to find the one I'm thinking of. Oh, I haven't used it a ton. I would say that the Lalvin Borgevin, I think I'm saying it right, RC212 is a medium fast fermenter that retains honey character well. It gets up to, I'm looking at the stats currently because I can't remember all of the information on it. I think it gets up to 14%, something like that. It's not like a super hot fermenter. It doesn't say on here. Of course it doesn't. Nice. Anyways, it's not a super fast fermenter. The D47 and doing the most, take another shot, can attest to this, is a good yeast. It is not a super fast fermenter. It ferments pretty cleanly. So, doing the most just said 71B eats malic acid, and it's true. There are some yeasts that can actually, I can't remember which one it is, and I'm sure he can actually give me the information, but there's one that ferments on non-fermentable sugar. anyone know which one it is? It's one that can actually like eat some non-fermentable sugar, and it's a little bit sketchy. It's got some sci-fi vibes to me. Anyways, so I'm sorry. Roundabout answer: Lalvin, Borgervin, RC 212, D47 is pretty good in my opinion. The Red Star Premier Rouge, Red Star Premier Blanc are also up there in the decent to me. Oh, I'm getting down.
Sounds good.
So, anyways, that's it's all. Sorry, I gotta flip back. I forget that my computer is. There we go. I've missed a lot of chat things, so if anybody's asked me a question in chat, I'm sorry. That is my fault.
I think BC's handling most of them.
Yeah, I think he's taking care of it. For sure, for sure. One thing, I'm getting down to the bottom of this this buckwheat traditional, it's mesquite. Buckwheat honey has some serious, like, garbage at the bottom. It has so much particulate that it's insane. Him and I made these two buckwheat traditional meads, and we both had problems. Like, we started with a gallon, and we ended up with, like, 2/3, 3/4, because of how much we lost to sediment. So, nothing against buckwheat, but there are a lot of crazy vibes to it. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, y'all. I'm gonna say 13 minutes, and I gotta close this down. Mainly because I think my camera, when I checked it, it was my external battery on it was like 2%. So there is more than likely a chance that this stream will die before this ends. So I want to make sure and probably close it in a good way and not a sudden way. So I got a little more time. This has been a lot of fun. This has been almost 2.5 hours already. This is crazy. Wow, this is awesome.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Dude, I love getting to do this, and the community is the most fun for me. Mead making's fun, experimentation is fun, but man, seeing people also try mead is just a joy.
Over this past year, there hasn't been too much interaction between people in the mead and this kind of like world, so it's nice to have stuff like this.
I think that hopefully us mead YouTubers are uniting the community together. And that was one big thing that whenever I talked to the Gosnells London people about their own meadery, they asked me what was the big challenge with the mead community. And I kind of told them, hopefully y'all know at this point that I'm a little honest. The big challenge with the mead community is we are finding a fork, and the fork is that we have a brewing community that is, I'll call them quote all natural, and that anything that has I made a joke earlier to somebody that anything that has more than 6 letters is not you won't put in your brew. But these people that are scared of putting maltodextrin or let's say erythritol or something like that has some scary name in it because they don't want to worry about the side effects, quote. And then the other fork is that the people who are willing to put in those things, and there's no problem with either, but the truth is we're dividing, and it sucks to see. As a YouTuber who's watched the community change, we're starting to see the fork go further away from each side, and I wanna highlight and hopefully be a bridge to both and say, mead is honey and water and yeast. Feel free to put whatever sides you want to put into it, but let's be a community that hopefully unites around a good product that is honey based. and not the extra additives. So I do worry a little bit as somebody who's invested in the mead community about the longitude of it, but I hope that I can be a catalyst for both sides and not just one. That is
at the end of the day, we're drinking alcohol, so
it's true. It's true.
It's not exactly good for you anyway.
Right. And well, that's what drives me nuts a little bit too, is that people get very offended on either side. And so I don't want to offend anybody, but I also don't want to be elitist. It's a balance between the two things to say that I've had good experiences with this or I've had bad experiences with both.
It's kind of similar to what happens in the metal world and the progressive rock world. You know, whether you're a Tool fan or not a Tool fan. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. You can't deny the impact that some people have. That's for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
This Colin show be a thing going forward, because I think that's just a completely and utterly awesome idea.
I love it. Honestly, my only problem is that she's probably not still in the chat because she's got her own job. She's currently working a night shift. But my fiance is a very busy person, and so I would love to do this more often. I can't say it'll be on Saturdays, but I love getting to do the call-in show. I love getting to do the chat. So anytime I can do a live stream, my hope is to do the call-in show thing. And I plan, I'll say this, I plan on doing it each time I do it, for sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the community engagement is just awesome. And I mean, I as a noob, I have learned so much tonight. It's not even funny.
Oh, for sure. Me too. I mean, I myself will come back and watch the chat because I know I've missed so many important things happened in the chat with you guys talking about your own experiences. So it's just a joy to get to be a part of this community, and it's even more of a joy to know that I can host it in some manner.
So I got a big question. I don't know if you would know something about this, but it's like actual meaderies. How are they able to get out like mead on a regular basis? Do they do a lot of blending?
No, I mean, you got to think these big meaderies are, most established meaderies are producing at such a high rate that they might start a 600 gallon batch that finishes in a month, and then the next month they start the same thing. They've got their recipes down to such a T that they are literally able to reproduce perfectly that same recipe each time. So I mean, yes, there is some blending side, but I think most of it is just establishment of recipe and consistency of production. So I think in some regards, if they're doing some weird specialty batch where they're like trying to be niche and snowflakey, yeah, there's some blending, but most of the time I'm sure it's just, we've got this down, let's do it again.
That was just funny because I had this small batch brewery next to me, and I guess we went in there and drank all of their mead, and so I didn't have such good mead ready to go for a good 5 or 6 months.
Oh, I mean, I think that some, especially smaller meaderies, will struggle because they are smaller and they're probably not producing these large quantities, but the established ones are doing that. So I have no idea for the people who are only doing 60 gallon barrels of a specific thing, but for the ones like Superstition who are doing a 1,200 gallon batch of things, they got their A game on, that's for sure.
By the way, if you ever get down here and want to tour Superstition, I'll go right with you.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. Holy cow. Once COVID is chilled out and I can travel and I get my summer, I feel like I want to just go around. Man, it'd be so much fun. Sounds like a trip. I would love to do I would do some podcast series and stuff. It would be fun. I would just love to do that. So maybe in the future, no guarantees, but my hope is to be able to do more traveling and touring and expand my own knowledge, because as much as I feel like I might know, I still feel like I don't know a lot. I've gotten like 12% of the way into this world. There's still a lot to go.
Yeah, the U.S. Mead Tour 2024.
Absolutely.
There's not many good ways to come by to Chicago, but we have this one meadery that's pretty well established out here. They have their own bees, kind of in the backyard of it. It's in the city, so it's kind of odd to see a place with a garden anywhere over there. But they have their own bees. They'll grow their own ingredients that they'll throw in there, and been meaning to check that place out.
I would love to have my own bees at some point. I live in a bad area for that. I'm sure my neighbors would hate me if I had bees. So maybe if I move further out somewhere one day. But it'd be nice to not have to buy as much honey. I have spent a lot of money on honey. That's for sure.
You spend a lot more money on trying to keep bees too.
That's true. There's
the meter you cut with, especially like the big commercial ones, because if you think about how much money we spend on honey, I know it's on a smaller scale, but as any of these meaderies, substituting other sugars in their beverages.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think that there are cost benefits to both sides, and if you get it down, you could definitely produce your own honey at a decent rate to where you wouldn't have to worry so much about the cost. But I do think the people who are just starting in beekeeping might not understand as well. And again, I have zero knowledge of beekeeping, so I'm assuming that the startup cost and the understanding phase is expensive, because you might lose some, you might do that stuff. So I'm sure the people who got their stuff together probably are able to worry less about the cost. But one day if I don't have if I have neighbors who are less angry about me having bees, possibly. Currently where I'm at, those people will be angry. They're already mad I have a dog, so there's no way that they're going to be cool with bees. So, all right, y'all. I need to close down the stream only because my camera, I'm 90% certain it's getting real close. I see the battery getting iffy. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out of the call-in show. Thank you all so much for joining the call-in show. And like somebody said, I want to be a part of this call-in show. This is the Mead community. This is fun. So thank you guys for joining me on here.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this stream. I cannot express enough how enjoyable this is for me. Mead making, I hope you see, is a passion of mine. More specifically, community building. I want to be, as well as every other mead maker out there, I want to be the guy who continues to help everybody. So I hope that through my videos you get to learn something, the goods and bads of things, and I hope you just get to be entertained. I don't want to be a TV show. I'm not producing a TV show. I'm producing a real show of me learning, and you get to see my fails. And more specifically, I've got some videos out now, just kind of, well, I'll put it this way. There's a video coming out soon. You don't hear me cuss, but I got a little angry, so you'll see that in the future. There's a moment, so there's some bleeps, but I want to be real with y'all. There are fails, there are successes, and there's joy, and the joy comes from you guys. The joy comes from the experience. So go out, make your own mead. Go out and enjoy the process. Make more mead so you can forget about the old mead for the time being, and have fun with it. I hope to see you guys in the future. I have a video coming out Monday and it will be highlighting some things around my Man-Made Mead Extras channel. So if you want to watch those things, there's a Discord. If you want to join us, that's who was on there just previously. There was a bunch of people talking on the Discord chat. There's a Facebook page. There's a Patreon. If you want to support me and help me continue to make content and buy honey and do all of those things, feel free to join me there. There's a YouTube side. There's a join button somewhere in the world. All of those things. I love getting to do this. And if I was getting paid $0, I would still do it. The truth is, that same spirit and joy I have from 100 subscribers continues today. And I love it. I cannot wait to show you guys what I have in the future. I hope you have a great night. I'll see you in the future. Cheers.